Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today's Tuesday, August 6, 2024. Today, we're going to go over the Olympic stuff from yesterday, look ahead to what's going on today. Then we have baseball, soccer, and then we're going to do baseball power rankings, news and notes, my portfolio that I'm going to give out, and my best bet. We'll start the Olympics. We'll go over things of importance from yesterday, and we look ahead to everything going on today. Yesterday, men's 3x3 gold medal game, the Dutch over France 18-17. Women's 3x3 gold medal game, Germany over Spain 17-16. The men's 3x3 bronze medal game, Lithuania over Latvia 21-18. And in the women's 3x3 bronze medal game, U.S. over Canada 16-13. Soccer, Spain over Morocco 2-1 and France over Egypt 3-1. Artistic gymnastics, the floor, the gold going to Brazil's Rebecca Andrade. Simone Biles gets the silver, Jordan Childs the bronze. Men's horizontal bar, Japan's Shinosuke Oka wins gold. Colombia's Angel Barajas wins silver. And a tie for the bronze, China's Zhang Bohang and Chinese Taipei's Tang Chiahuang. Women's balance beam, the gold going to Italy's Alice D'Amato, silver Zhu Yakina China, bronze Mila Esposito of Italy. Men's parallel bars final, the gold going to China's Zhu Jingguan, the silver Ukraine's Ilya Kovtun, and the bronze going to Shinosuke Oka of Japan. Athletics, the women's 800-meter, the gold going to Great Britain's Keely Hodgkinson, the silver going to Ethiopia's Sige Daguma, and the bronze going to Kenya's Mary Mora. Women's 500-meter, the gold going to Kenya's Beatrice Chebet, silver Faith Kipaghan, and the bronze, the Dutch's Stefan Hassan. Discus throw, the gold going to U.S.'s Valerie Allman, silver China's Feng Bin, bronze Croatia's Sandra Elkasevic. Men's pole vault final, gold Sweden's Armand Duplantis, silver Sam Kendricks of U.S., and bronze Greece's Emmanuel Karellis. Badminton, men's single gold medal, Denmark's Victor Axelsen over Thailand's Kunlavot Vitsarin. Women's singles gold medal match, Korea's An Se-young over China's Hei Bing-jao. Men's single bronze medal match, Zi Jia Lee gets the bronze from Malaysia. And then India's Lakshya Sen becomes in fourth. And then for the women's singles bronze medal, the bronze goes to Indonesia's Georgia Mariska Tanjung and Carolina Marin comes in fourth. That was a retired match. Canoe slalom, men's kayak cross final. The gold goes to New Zealand's Finn Butcher, silver Joseph Clark of Great Britain, bronze Noah Heggie of Germany. Women's kayak cross, gold going to Naomi Fox of Australia, silver Angel Hug of France, and then the bronze going to Great Britain's Kimberly Woods. Cycling track, women's team sprint, Gold medal race, Great Britain beats New Zealand. The bronze goes to Germany over the Dutch. Shooting, mixed skeet gold medal match. Italy gets the gold with Diana Bacozzi and Gabrielle Rossetti over Austin Jewel Smith and Vincent Hancock. The men's 25-meter rapid fire pistol final. China's Li Yuhong gets gold. Silver's Korea's Cho Young-jae. The bronze is China's Wang Xinji. Mixed skeet bronze medal. China. Jiang Yidiang and Liu Jianlin over India's Mashwari Chauhan, Anat Jeet Singh, Nakura. Surfing, gold medal match for the women's U.S. is Caroline Marks gets gold over Brazil's Tatiana Wetson-Webb. Men's gold medal match, France's Coley Vost over silver medalist Australia Jack Robinson. Bronze medal match for the women's, France Joanne Defy, and then coming in fourth, Brisa Hennessy of Costa Rica. Men's bronze medal, Brazil's Gabriel Medina over Peru's Alonso Correa. Coming in fourth. And then triathlon, the mixed relay triathlon final, Germany wins gold with Tim Hellwig, Lisa Turch, Lassie Lewers, and Laura Liedman. Silver's U.S., Seth Ryder, Taylor Spivey, Morgan Pearson, and Taylor Knibb. And then the bronze goes to Great Britain, Alex Yee, Georgia Taylor Brown, Sam Dickinson, and Beth Potter. And then, all right, so some results from today. Germany over Greece, 76-63 for basketball. And in progress right now, it's an overtime between Australia and Serbia. And coming up, you have Canada, France, and Brazil, USA. We're going to do some betting stuff for those two games that are to come. Obviously, so Canada-France is a really good game. Canada's a 7.5-point favorite, total 163.5. I think that's too high. I don't think France is going to beat Canada outright. The game's supposed to start at noon, but I do think that France will hang around, so I'm going to take France getting the points. And then 3:30 is USA, Brazil. US is giving 26.5, totals 184.5. That is a high total, so I'm going to go with the under. I think U.S. wins, but I don't think it will be that much of a high-scoring game. U.S. will score their points, but I think their defense is going to do a good job against Brazil. All right, women's soccer, Germany, U.S. To qualify, U.S. is minus 280, Germany is plus 220, and then the three ways, U.S. minus 125, Germany plus 360, draw plus 240. I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at plus 120. And then at 3 o'clock, you have I mixed the two. Brazil, Spain. Spain's minus 420, Brazil's plus 310. Moneyline three-way. Spain minus 175, Brazil 5-1, the draw plus 260. I'm going to do the same bet. Over 2.5 goals at plus 120. All right, some other results from this morning. The women's 10-meter platform final in diving. The gold going to China's Quan Hongcheng. Silver, Chen Yuxi of China. And the bronze goes to Kim Mi-rae of North Korea. Equestrian, the gold goes to Germany's Christian Kukak. Silver, Switzerland's Steve Gordon. And the bronze, Dutch's Mikhail van der Wielden. Also to come today, athletics. Women's 200-meter final, women's 3,000 steeplechase final, men's 1,500 final, men's long jump final, women's hammer throw final, boxing, the women's 60 kg final, the 66 kg semifinal, the 50 kg semifinal, and the men's 71 kg semifinal. Cycling track, men's team sprint final, both the gold and the bronze medal races. The sailing medal races have been delayed, both in the men's and the women's. Wrestling, with the women's 68 kg gold and bronze medal matches. The men's 130 kg Greco-Roman gold and bronze medal matches. And the men's 60 kg Greco-Roman gold and bronze medal matches. And then skateboarding, we have the women's park finals. So a busy day today in the Olympics, for sure. Okay, now move on to baseball. We have results to talk about from last night, and we'll look ahead to today's games. Makeup game from May 8th, Mets over the Cardinals 6-0. D-backs over the Guardians 7-6 in 10 innings. Reds over the Marlins 10-3. Giants over the Nats 4-1. Rangers over the Astros 4-3-10 on a walk-off home run for Josh Smith. What a devastating loss for Houston and a great win for the Rangers. Remember like a month ago, everybody's like, oh, the Astros are back, look out. Yeah, they're only 2 games over 500. Twins over the Cubs 3-0, so best bet was a big flop. I mean, the other one I was considering was a flop too, the Astros-Rangers game. Red Sox over the Royals 9-5. A's over the White Sox 5-1. Dodgers over the Phillies 5-3. So the White Sox, by the way, 21 straight losses. So today, 6:30 of D-backs Guardians. Eduardo Rodriguez making his season debut for the Diamondbacks against Ben Lively of Cleveland. And here's yesterday criticizing the Diamondbacks. We're criticizing the bookmakers for making D-backs favorites. I was wrong, and they're favored. Actually, no, the Guardians are favored. -112. D-backs are -104 over under 8. Overs -8. Unders -112. D-backs -1.5 plus 155. Guardians +1.5 is -188. So the Diamondbacks are playing great baseball right now. I was doing my research today for the power rankings. They're playing great. I'm taking them again, -104. Reds Marlins, Nick Lodolo and Max Meyer. Reds -136, Marlins +116, over under 8, overs -102, unders -120. Reds -1.5 plus 125, Marlins +1.5 is -150. I'm taking the Marlins. I'm taking a chance here, +116. Max Meyer hasn't been bad this year. Neither is Nick Lodolo, but this is just throwing a dart at a dog. Just a gut feeling here. Padres Pirates, Dylan Cease and Bailey Falter. Padres -168, Pittsburgh +142, over under 8, -110 each way. Padres -1.5 is -106, Pittsburgh +1.5 is -113. I'm going to go with the under. I want to take Pittsburgh, but San Diego's playing really well right now too, so I'm going to go with the under. Giants Nats at 6:45. Hayden, Birdsong, and Mackenzie Gore. Giants -122, Nats +104, over under 9, overs -106, unders -114. Giants -1.5 is +132, Nats +1.5 is -160. I'm gonna go with the under. San Francisco is also 8-2 in their last 10. I mean, now I'm stepping on the power rankings a little bit, but they're playing great too. I'm gonna go with the under. 7 o'clock, Angels Yankees from the Bronx. Davis Daniel and Luis Hill. The Yankees, monster, nearly 2-1 favorite, or 3-1 favorites here. -290, Angels +235, over on the 9, overs -106, unders -114. Angels +1.5 is +115, Yankees -1.5 is -136. I'm going with the over. because the Yankee offense has been humming since the Boston series a week and a half ago. Granted, their offense did not perform great in that finale against the Blue Jays. Granted, they had a walk-off win, but I think this is a bounce-back spot for the offense, so I like the over. O's Jays. Grayson Rodriguez and Chris Bassett. O's minus 144, Jays plus 122, over under 8.5. Overs minus 6, unders minus 114. O's minus 1.5 plus 115, Jays plus 1.5 is minus 37. Love the over. Love, love, love it. On TBS at 7:20, Brewers Braves. Decent game. Colin Rea, Bryce Adler. These two teams literally just faced off last week. Braves minus 132, Brewers plus 112, over under 9. Overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 184. Braves minus 1.5 plus 152. I think the total's too high. But I'm going to take Milwaukee plus 112 straight up. 7:45, Rays Cardinals. Jeffrey Springs and Sonny Gray. So the two teams that like to make trades with each other facing off. Cards minus 152, Rays plus 128, over under 7.5. Overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Rays plus 1.5 is minus 176. Cards minus 1.5 plus 146. The Rays are playing a little bit better than the Cards right now. But the reason why the Cardinals have... Two reasons why the Cardinals have a minus by their name. Sonny Gray in their home. I'm taking the Rays at plus 128. Outright. 8 o'clock, Astros Rangers. Framber Valdez and Tyler Mahle. Astros minus 118, Rangers even money, over under 8. Overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Astros minus 1.5 plus 142, Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 72. This might be the too good to be true pick of the night, but I like Houston to bounce back. They need this game bad. Twins Cubs. Pablo Lopez and Shota Imanaga. Pick a minus 185, over under 6.5. Overs even money, unders minus 122. Twins minus 1.5 plus 168. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 205. 6.5 is on the lowest totals I've seen in a while. I'm taking the Cubs at minus 108. They need the game. They need to bounce back. They're home. They have their ace going. So I'm taking the Cubs at minus 108 in a pick 'em. Red Sox Royals. Brian Balo, Seth Lugo. Royals minus 130. Red Sox plus 110, over under 8.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Red Sox plus 1.5 is minus 92. Royals minus 1.5 plus 158. Over because Brian Balo stinks. Mets Rockies 8:30. Luis Severino and Kyle Freeland. Mets minus 156. Rockies plus 132. Over under 11.5. Over even money, under minus 122. Mets minus 1.5 is minus 2. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 115. I'm going to go with the Mets on the run line. Luis Severino's pitched. This is the best I've seen him pitch since he was at his peak with the Yankees. If not, just as close. I'm going to take the Mets at minus 1.5 and minus 102. 9:30, White Sox, A's, Jonathan Cannon, and Ross Stripling. A's minus 196, White Sox plus 164, over under 8.5. Overs even money, unders minus 122. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 108. A's minus 1.5 plus 106. Any anti-White Sox bet you can get at this point. I'm going to go over 4.5 athletic runs at minus 113. MLB Network, Tigers, Mariners. Kiter Montero and Luis Castillo. Mariners minus 205, Tigers plus 172, over under 7.5, overs even money, unders minus 122. Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 125, Mariners minus 1.5 plus 104, over even money. Montero's no good, and Castillo is good, but he hasn't been great this year. And then also on MLB Network at 10 o'clock, also ESPN Plus, Phillies, Dodgers. Best series on the board, obviously. Chris Sanchez and Clayton Kershaw. Dodgers minus 110, Phillies minus 106, over under 8.5, over minus 106, unders minus 120. Phillies minus 1.5 plus 146, Dodgers plus 1.5 is minus 176. I'm going with the Phillies. They need the game. They have not played well of late. got swept by the Yankees, lost the series to Seattle, lost last night. Chris Sanchez was pitching great until recently, but I don't trust Clayton Kershaw against this Phillies lineup. I would have trusted Clayton Kershaw against the Giants or the Diamondbacks or even the Padres, but I don't trust him against the Phillies. I'm taking the Phillies at minus 106. All right, so that's baseball. Now we'll move on to soccer. We have results to talk about from yesterday and look ahead to some games today. We'll start with Scottish Premiership. Aberdeen over St. Johnstone 2-1. We did Olympics already. All right, so we have UCL qualifying today. At noon, we have FK Karabag and Ludogorets. I'm trying to find the qualifyings. There we go. Karabag minus 160, Ludogorets 4-1, draw plus 270. I'm going to go with the draw plus 270. 1 o'clock, Malmo and Paok. Malmo plus 115, Paok plus 210, draw plus 230. Paok has been hot. I'm taking the plus 210. 115, Midtjylland and Ferencvaros. Midtjylland minus 130. Ferencvaros is plus 330. The draw is plus 240. Over 2.5 goals minus 116. 2 o'clock, you have Dynamo Kyiv and Rangers. Dynamo, even money, Rangers plus 220, draw plus 250. I'm going Rangers plus 220. Sparta and FCSB. Sparta minus 230, FCSB plus 550, the draws plus 310. I'm going to do under 2.5 goals minus 108. 230, Lille and Fenerbahce. Lille plus 105, Fenerbahce plus 240, draw plus 210. Fenerbahce has been hot, so I'm going to go with the draw plus 210. And 245, RB Salzburg and FC 20. RB Salzburg minus 145, FC 20 plus 340, draw plus 270. Under 2.5 goals plus 118. And then we have some club friendlies today as well. Coventry AS Roma was originally supposed to go, but that was canceled. Barnsley's playing AS Roma instead. At 12:30, Dortmund and Villarreal. I don't have any of the odds for the friendlies up, except for 2 of them. 7 o'clock ESPN2 is Real Madrid and Chelsea. They're playing in Charlotte tonight. So Chelsea plus 125, Real Madrid plus 160, draw plus 290. I'm going to go with the draw plus 290. And at 7:30 is Barcelona and Milan. Barcelona plus 115, Milan plus 175, draw plus 290. I'm going Barcelona plus 115. We have a Leagues Cup game tonight, but yesterday, Cincy over NYCFC 4-2, Houston over Salt Lake 3-0, Toluca over KC 2-1, Colorado Leon 1-1 draw. Colorado wins 4-3 on penalties. 7:30 tonight, New England Nashville. New England plus 135, Nashville plus 175, draw plus 230. I'm going to go with the Revolution at home at plus 135. And then the round of 32 begins tomorrow. which is going to be fun. All right, now I'm going to do MLB Power Rankings. I'm just going to talk about the teams a little bit and what they've done recently and what's to come this week and the weekend. So, without further ado, here we go. You all know who number 30 is. It's the worst team I've seen in years, and that's the Chicago White Sox, who are currently on a 21-game losing streak. The question is, when do they win again? Will they ever win again this season? They probably will, but we just don't know when that will come. So, losers of 21 straight games. They're just an atrocity. 27-88 on the year. They're at Oakland now, and then they have a 2-game series Friday, Saturday at home against the Cubs. So, they have the Yankees to start next week, but that is just crazy that what's going on with the White Sox, and whoever's the team that the White Sox beat to end the losing streak is gonna be embarrassed. And I don't care how that game goes. 29ers, the Colorado Rockies. 41-72 on the year. 37 their last 10, lost their last 2 games. This week they're home Mets and home Braves. And then at Diamondbacks to start next week. 28th, the Miami Marlins. They are 42-71 on the year. 5-5 in their last 10, which isn't terrible. So this week coming up, home Reds for 4, home Padres for 3, and then next week the start at Phillies. 27th, the Oakland Athletics. I mean, they're out of the bottom 3. They're only 20 games under 500. They're not awful. Oakland is not awful. They're bad, but they're not awful. 6-4 in their last 10. This week, home White Sox. If they do lose to the White Sox, though, that's embarrassing. And then they're at the Blue Jays, and then to start next week, they're at the Mets. 26, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. 49-63 on the year. 4-6 in the last 10. Although they did win their last 2 games against the Mets. This week they're at the Yankees, and then at the Nats, and then home Blue Jays to start next week. It's just unfortunate that Mike Trout's out for the season. Mike Trout, I feel bad for him at this point. I mean, he's injury prone. Let's just be honest. He's what everybody says Aaron Judge is. Or Aaron Judge was. People say, oh, he's injury prone. Everyone says that about Aaron Judge. Reality is, that's Mike Trout. Aaron Judge is a better baseball player than Mike Trout, and probably was for a long time now. 25 is the Washington Nationals. 51-62 on the season. 4-6 in their last 10. Minus 59 run differential isn't bad. But yeah, the Nationals are a respectable 11 games under 500. So this week, home Giants, home Angels, and then they have 2 against the O's to start next week at Baltimore. And then their game against the Angels on Sundays on Roku, which is funny. 24 is the Detroit Tigers. They are 53-60 on the season. 3-7 in their last 10 is not great. Only minus 24 run differential. That's making the cases they're better than they are. All right, this week, home Mariners, at Giants. Or at Mariners, I'm sorry. At Mariners, at Giants, and then home Mariners to start next week. So, West Coast for Detroit. Number 23 is the Toronto Blue Jays, 51-61 in the year. 5-5 in their last 10, lost their last 2 games, though. They just lost 2 out of 3 against the Yankees. Could have won 2 out of 3, but they lost that last game on a walk-off. So this week, home O's, home A's, at Angels. So the schedule after the O's gets a little easier for Toronto, who really positioned themselves well at the trade deadline after the lopsided Yusei Kikuchi trade. Number 22 is the Texas Rangers. They are 54-59 in the season. 5 back of first place. That says how bad the AL West is. Minus 19 run differential. 37 their last 10, although they won yesterday on the walk-off. So this week, home Astros, at Yankees over the weekend, and then next week at Red Sox to start. So the schedule isn't getting easier for the Rangers, although that Yankee series is a little bit tougher now than it looked 2 weeks ago, maybe even 3 weeks ago, maybe even a week and a half ago, but that series is harder now, and so is that Red Sox series. So you think the Rangers are having some regrets about not selling more major pieces at the deadline? Number 21 is the Chicago Cubs. 55-60 on the year. They're in last, but they're only 9 back in the NL Central. That division's weak this year. Cubs only minus 3 run differential, 6-4 in their last 10. So make the case for the Cubs season to turn around. The run differential's not bad, and their schedule could be easier, which it is. They're home Twins to start the week, and then at the White Sox for 2. They better not lose to the White Sox. That'd be embarrassing. And then it gets harder at the Guardians. And then next weekend's home Blue Jays, so that's a little easier. Number 20 is the Cincinnati Reds. The Cincinnati Reds aren't bad. 54-58 on the season, plus 35 run differential. So they probably have underachieved a little bit. They're 500 in their last 10. This week, at Marlins, at Brewers over the weekend, and home Cardinals. So a lot of winnable series is coming up, including the Brewers series. 19 is the St. Louis Cardinals. They're 57-56 on the year. 7 back in the loss column of first place. They're minus 48 run differential, 4-6 in their last 10. But yeah, the Cardinals aren't really that good. They're home Rays, at Royals over the weekend, and then at Reds to start next week. 18 is the Tampa Bay Rays. That's weird I put them back to back. 57-54 on the season. 9 back of the O's for first. 8 back in the loss column. The Rays are still kind of hanging around. Minus 43 run differential, so that tells you they're not that good. 6-4 in their last 10. So they just won 2 out of 3 against Houston. They're at Cardinals, home Orioles, and then home Astros to start next week. 17 is the Pittsburgh Pirates. They are 56-55 on the season, 6 back of first place. They're minus 5 run differential, 500 in their last 10. This week, home Padres, at Dodgers, then at Padres to start next week. So they're getting the Padres right now when the Padres are hot. Not ideal for Pittsburgh. 16 is the Houston Astros. 57-55 on the season. They're only a game and a half back of first, but they've been huge underachievers this year. Plus 40 run differential, though, 4-6 in their last 10. They lost 3 straight. Tough one last night against the Rangers. So they're at Rangers, at Red Sox over the weekend, and then at Rays. So not an easy schedule coming up for Houston. 15, the San Francisco Giants. They are 500 on the season, 57-57, minus 8 run differential, but the reason why they're in the top 15, 8-2 in their last 10 games. It's what have you done for me lately? They've been great lately. So they have at Nats for 4, home Tigers, and then home Braves without Acuna and Strider, obviously. So the Giants have a chance here to really make a run in the NL wild card. So maybe we shouldn't criticize them for selling anyway. They're playing good right now. Or maybe we shouldn't criticize them for not selling at the trade deadline. 14, the Seattle Mariners. Although they did trade Soler, maybe there's viewing theory there. So the Seattle Mariners are 14. They're in first, 59-54 on the season. Plus 24 run differential, 6-4 in their last 10. This week, home Tigers, home Mets, at Tigers to start next week. 13, the Atlanta Braves. 60-51 on the season, 5.5 back of the Phillies. Plus 55 run differential, 6-4 in their last 10. They're not playing that great. They split with the Marlins. I don't know why I thought they got swept. Maybe because of Saturday, Sunday. So, home Brewers, at Rockies, at Giants. So, the Rockies series, they should win. The Brewers series won't be easy, neither will the Giants series. But I got to give them credit for not giving up on the season. Number 12, the New York Mets. 59-53 on the season, 7 back of the Phillies, plus 34 run differential. They're 500 in their last 10. So they just beat the Cardinals in a makeup game. And then they're at the Rockies for 3, at the Mariners for 3, including Sunday Night Baseball. So that's a deserving Sunday Night Baseball game. Mets at the Mariners. First place Mariners and the Mets are playing well, so that's a good game for Sunday Night Baseball. And then to start next week, they're home Athletics. But yeah, this Mets team, I want to see what their odds are to win the division with the Phillies not playing well. So it's going to be interesting. So, just missing the top 10 at 11, the Boston Red Sox. 16-51 in the season, 6 back of the Yankees and the O's in the division, 5 back in the loss column, plus 37 run differential. 6-4 in their last 10. That Yankees series, though, was really tough for Boston. They were about to win that series, and then there was the misplay in the outfield that led to Trent Grisham getting the double to tie the game, and then they lose in extras, and then they got beat up by the Yankees on Sunday Night Baseball, and then they lost a couple games to Seattle. They did win. They bounced back and beat the Rangers, and then they beat the Royals yesterday, and then they have the Royals this week, and then home Astros, and then home Rangers. And then they play the Orioles next weekend, which is going to be interesting. And then 10, here we go. 10's the Kansas City Royals. 63-51 on the season. 5 back of the Guardians for first. Plus 91 run differential. You could argue this is... You could make a case for any of those 3 for the best team in the division. I mean, I like the Guardians probably the most. But they don't have Shane Bieber. When is that loss going to hurt them? All right, so Casey, 6-4 in their last 10. So they have the Red Sox at home this week. They lost yesterday. Home Cardinals for 2. And then a big series at the Twins next week to start. But yeah, Bobby Witt Jr. is a top 10 player in all of baseball right now. It's just sad because in any other season where the best baseball player arguably of this decade, or for the past decade, is just dominating, and then you're screwed. And that's not Bobby Witt's fault. But he could be the Altuve, 2017 Altuve. Like, Aaron Judge is a fluke injury or a bad slump away from Bobby Witt Jr. being 2017 Altuve. But I don't think that's going to happen, obviously. But Bobby Witt's amazing, and the Royals are fun because of him. 9, the Milwaukee Brewers. 62-49 the season. They're in first in their division, plus 79 run differential. 4-6 in their last 10 is a little troubling. So they have the Braves in Atlanta this week. Over the weekend, home Reds, and then home Dodgers next week to start. So not an easy schedule coming up for Milwaukee. It gives some teams like Pittsburgh and the Reds and in that division to potentially make a run. 8, the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're playing great baseball right now. 61-52 on the year, 5 back of the Dodgers. Whoa, wait a second. Arizona and San Francisco are only 5 back of the Dodgers. Holy crap. I just realized that. That's amazing. 8-2 in their last 10. So this week. So now the NL West all of a sudden is really interesting. So they're at the Guardians. They won yesterday in extras. Home Phillies in the NLCS rematch. And then home Rockies. So the Diamondbacks have a chance to give the Dodgers a run for their money. Number 7 is the San Diego Padres, 61-52 on the year. They're 5 back also, plus 48 run differential, 8-2 in their last 10. So them and Arizona are very similar teams. Arizona's just a better offensive team, and San Diego has the better pitching. Although San Diego's a good offensive team too, and I prefer San Diego to Arizona only because San Diego's pitching's good. And now they have like a little Juan Soto Ewing theory going, which is not ideal for the Yankees, but the Yankees are playing great anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But if the Yankees of 5 weeks ago were still playing that bad, then we'd have that conversation. So they, this week, at Pittsburgh for 3, at Marlins for 3, home Pittsburgh for 3. So Pittsburgh's not going to be an easy out, but the Marlins series they should have no problem with. Number 6, the Minnesota Twins. Second in the AL Central, 63-48 on the season, 7-3 the last time. They've won 5 straight. That's why they're that high in the power rankings. At Cubs, home Guardians, including a doubleheader on Friday, and then home Royals. So they have an opportunity here to catch up to the Guardians with the home schedule here. 5 is the Guardians. They're 67-45 on the season, plus 84 run differential, 6-4 in the last 10, but they lost their last 3 games, including to Arizona yesterday. So they're home Arizona, and then at the Twins for 4, including doubleheader Friday, and then home Cubs to start next week in the 2016 the old rematch of 2016, but it's not really a rematch because the Cubs aren't the same team. I mean, neither are the Guardians because, I mean, the only common denominator there is Ramirez. Our number 4 is the Baltimore Orioles. So the top 4 is really hard to figure out, but I just decided who I liked where as I kept doing the power rankings. I had them in one order, but I had to move around the order because of some stuff. So I have the Orioles 4th. They're tied for first in the division, plus 89 run differential, 6-4 in their last, and although they won back-to-back against the Guardians. And then this week, at Blue Jays, at Rays, and then start next week, home Nats, and then over the weekend, they're home Red Sox. So a little easier of a schedule for Baltimore. But AL East games, you know those opponents are going to be tough. But them and the Yankees are tied. They have a 4-game lead on the first wild card, too. So I think them and the Yankees are safe for the playoffs. But the question is, who wins the division and who comes in 4th? And it's not a guarantee that the AL East is going to be the 1 or the 2 seed. So that's still up in the air as well. Number 3 of the Philadelphia Phillies. I was going to put them at 1, but I'm like 2-8 in their last 10. They can't be number 1. I still generally think that this is your best bet to win the World Series, but this power rankings has a lot of what have you done for me lately, as in over the last week and a half, and all they've done is lose. They're in like a Yankees kind of tailspin, except the Yankee one went longer than this one I think is going to go. But I thought the Phillies were going to have a swoon like this when everybody got hurt, but ironically, those guys are back. So they're at Dodgers for 3, at D-backs for 4, and then a little get-right 2-gamer home Marlins to start next week, and then home Nats over the weekend, or next weekend. So hard schedule, of course, for the Phils, but it should get better come next week. If the swoon's still into late next week against the Nats and the Marlins, then we need to have a talk. Because of 2-8 in their last 10 and getting swept by the Yankees, they're out of the top 2. Number 2, with a lot of thought and consideration between these two teams. Number 2, I have the Los Angeles Dodgers. They've won 3 straight, 5-5 in their last 10. They won 2 out of 3 against Oakland. And then they have home Phillies this week. They won yesterday. Home Pirates 3. That should be a win series. And then at the Brewers for 4. That won't be easy. But the Dodgers, they haven't been playing great either. But Shohei Ohtani's just been a man on a mission. Second best player in baseball. And the Dodgers, I feel like always play well in big games at home, but on the road they had that crushing walk-off loss against San Diego last week, which wasn't great. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days here for the Dodgers. And then number 1, I have the New York Yankees. Call me a homer if you want. Like I said, what have you done for me lately? The Yankees, after a rough patch of 6 weeks, they've turned it around with that sweep of Philadelphia. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. Plus 121 run differential. That is the best in baseball. They lead the majors in runs scored by 1 run over Arizona. After their offense went in a swoon, now they lead it in runs scored. I think, if you asked me today who wins the division, I don't feel good about it, but I think it's going to be the Yankees. Because to me, Baltimore didn't make that signature move that, I don't think maybe Jazz Chisholm is more of a signature move than I gave it credit for at the time. But that's certainly more impactful than anything Baltimore did. It's going to come down to that. And to me, Baltimore got 2 mediocre pitchers. And really, that hasn't changed their fortunes. Maybe Jackson Holliday being up will change things. We'll see. I know Jordan Westbrook just got hurt for Baltimore, which is a big loss. Now I'm going on an Orioles tangent when I'm supposed to be talking about the Yankees. But that said, the Jazz Chisholm trade might have changed the season. It rejuvenated the offense, although the offense played well the day before the Jazz trade in Boston. Although they did lose that game. They should have won that game, by the way. And you could argue they should have lost the Saturday game in Boston. And then, so the 3 losses in that span were Friday against the Jays. That was a weird game. It rained. Late start. Granted, they could have won that game too. And then they had the Boston loss on that Friday. And then the third loss in that stretch was when they got their ass kicked by the Mets 2 weeks ago when Garrett Cole was on the mound. So the Yankees, to me, are playing the best right now. And this is after that swoon they have. So Aaron Boone and company deserve a lot of credit. Aaron Judge is the best player in the world. It'd be a shocker if he didn't win IL MVP. He's the absolute best. So this week, home Angels for 3, home Rangers for 3, at White Sox for 3 start next week. That's an easy schedule. Toughest series will be the Rangers series because that's the reigning champs, and they're probably going to have some good pitchers going. Yeah, Nate Eovaldi. They might see Scherzer. So we'll see. That series won't be easy. The White Sox better win a game before they see him. That's all I got to say. Because if my favorite team is the team that the White Sox end the losing streak against, that's an embarrassment. So hopefully they beat Oakland within one of these next couple of days, or they beat the Cubs. But yeah, a great turnaround by the Yankees after a terrible June and July, with a lot of turmoil and such. So just go out, sweep the Angels, beat the Rangers 2 out of 3, and then sweep the White Sox and take it from there. So there you have it for the power rankings. Took a while. You saw Fangirl come out of me because I had the Yankees at number 1. All right, now I'm going to do portfolio. I have a long shot future that I wanted to present to you guys because I think it's a lot of fun. So 5 legs. And full disclosure, do I think all these things are going to happen? No, but it's just a fun parlay. Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC East. It was minus 125. Memphis Tigers football to win the AAC championship game plus 210. Chiefs to win the AFC West minus 230. Padres to win the National League 13-1. That's the long shot in there. And the Liberty to win the WNBA title at plus 155. So I laid $5 on it, so 1/20th of a unit. It's almost 285-1. So again, Eagles minus 125 to win the NFC East. Memphis plus 210 to win the AAC. Chiefs minus 30 AFC West. Padres to win the National League 13-1. Liberty plus 155 to win the WNBA title. Just under 285-1. And the cash out is just over $1,400. So I love this one. And listen, I don't think all this is necessarily going to happen. I just want to combine some things to see how it would play out. All right, news and notes. There's some things I want to touch on real quick. So the big story right now is that Kamala Harris picked her VP, and she decided to go with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. I do not think that if you're making the case for her to win, I don't think she should have gone there. There are better choices for Kamala on the board for her to potentially go out and beat Trump. Gretchen Whitmer, Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania. I really think that the Arizona Senator Mark Kelly would have been the that's who I thought she was going to pick, but she didn't go there. Andy Bashar would have been a decent pick for her, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of Walz. I don't think he is a great Democratic governor. I just don't like how he handled the George Floyd situation and how all of those riots happened in that city. And he just let it go happen. That's something we don't want to see. And like I said, I don't think he handled that well at all. And I surprised she went there. And to me, there are better choices on the board. And Donald Trump, I know, chose J.D. Vance, and I said that I think he should have went with Tim Scott. But Vance is young and energetic. Walz is 60. But yeah, not a big fan of Tim Walz at all. I was surprised she went there. And there were better candidates for her to pick. I think Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania would have been good. I don't think Walz gives her the best chance to beat Donald. But you never know. I could be wrong here. But yeah, I don't like that choice for her at all, really. But yeah, I just don't like how the George Floyd situation was handled for him. And I think voters are going to factor that in a little bit. So, if I had to make a guess of who wins right now, I'm going to say it's Donald Trump. But a lot can happen between now and Election Day. And we'll see. And we'll see how, if they debate, if the VPs debate. It's going to be an interesting couple months, that's for sure. Reynaldo Lopez on the injury list with forearm inflammation. Bryce Edler was called up. Not great for Atlanta. Dodgers DFA Kevon Biggio. 30 games with the Dodgers since coming over from the Blue Jays. Jaden Daniels listed as QB1. As he's set to start Commanders preseason as a starter. So that is really good. So Barca agrees to Danny Olmo move as he's set for the $60 million transfer. So that's huge for soccer. Cam Sample out for the season. The Bengals defensive end. Torn Achilles, not great for Cincy. That's a big loss from a depth standpoint. Emmanuel Mosley, that guy's nothing but injury prone. He's out indefinitely. He tore his pec. He was out last year too. Jalen Brunson was named the 36th captain in Knicks franchise history today. This is great. I love it. Jalen Brunson deserves this honor. He's turned the franchise around. He could be the best guy on a title team. He is so much better than I ever thought he was. So much better than the Knicks ever thought he was. And he's a leader. He's selfless. He just does everything right, and he deserves this so much. So there are deals on the table for Brandon Ayuk from the Browns and the Patriots. And apparently Pittsburgh and the Commanders have removed themselves from trade talks as they didn't meet the 49ers' price. And the Browns could trade Amari Cooper as he could potentially be involved in an Ayuk deal, which is weird. I would just keep those guys together. So we're going to see who gets him. I think the Browns should trade for him, but they shouldn't trade Amari too. They keep both guys. And the Patriots shouldn't trade for him. They're rebuilding. To me, if you're a rebuilding team, then you shouldn't be trading for veterans to help you win now. That's why now that I think about it, the Giants, I don't love the Brian Burns trade. You're rebuilding. Why? And then there's some other teams, like Carolina getting Deontay Johnson. Like, that one I get a little bit because you're trying to build around the young quarterback. I mean, that's the case for New England trying to get Ayuk, but Drake May's not even starting the season, I don't think. The U.S. men's national team is playing Argentina in Louisville in October, so that's interesting. Harrison Butker gets an extension, 4 years, a little over $25.5 million. Not a fan of paying kickers because sometimes kickers could just lose it. I mean, the only kicker that's lived up to a big contract for a kicker has been Justin Tucker. The preseason coaches polls out, which is interesting. I'm going to read it off to you really quickly. So 1 through 5 is Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama. 6 through 10 is Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Michigan, Penn State, Florida. 11 through 15, Missouri, LSU, Utah, Clemson, Tennessee. 16 through 20, Oklahoma, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Miami, Texas A&M. And 21 through 25, Arizona State, NC State, USC, Kansas, Iowa. I think Alabama's too high. I just don't know how that team is going to be without Nick Saban. So I would have dropped them. Michigan's too low. They just won the title. So I know they lost Jim Harbaugh, but they do have some key people coming back. Florida State, I think, is a little low. They have a lot of guys coming back from the team that went undefeated last year, and they get an upgrade at quarterback compared to what they had after Jordan Travis's injury, so they should be higher. Utah's going to be good. I always think USC is overrated just because they're USC. Miami's going to be good. Should Georgia be one, is the question. You could argue yes. I'm going to say they should be. They were the best team until the last couple weeks of the season, and they didn't even make the playoff because they lost to Bama in the SEC title game. So, wait. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, so they did beat Georgia in the SEC title game. That's what I thought. But Georgia was the best team until that point. So I get Georgia being one. Carson Beck's coming back. Ohio State's going to be really good. So is Oregon with Dylan Gabriel. Texas is back, of course. And then, like I said, I think Alabama's too high. I think Florida State should be higher, and I think Michigan should be a little higher. I think Kansas State's a little too high. I think Kansas should be a little higher with Jalen Daniels coming back. Texas A&M, I feel like, is overrated every year. Kind of like USC. Oklahoma State is going to be good, so I don't mind that ranking. Oklahoma in the SEC. Tennessee, we'll see. Clemson's right where they should be. I think Utah should be a little higher. LSU's in a tough spot because of the conference. So it's going to be a fun year, for sure. All right, Michigan unlikely to vacate the title as they're not expected to face retroactive penalties. And Sharon Moore among those facing sanctions. So that's not great. And Jim Harbaugh says, I do not apologize as he denies any role in sign-stealing scandal and mid-reported accusations. Pitbull buys a college football stadium name as he is to pay FIU $1.2 million per year for next 5 years to change name to Pitbull Stadium. So that's pretty cool for Pitbull. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. So obviously, best bet lost yesterday, as we talked about. And there are a couple of things that I liked. But I'm going to go to baseball. And I really like the freaking Mets. But my biggest fear is that they're going to shit the bed like they would randomly do sometimes. So I'm not going to go with the Mets, and I'm actually going to go with over 8.5 in the Blue Jays and the O's. I just think that that's going to be a high-scoring game. And that just has, like, 6-4 written all over it. So I'm going to go over 8.5 in Blue Jays rate. And I'm sorry, Blue Jays O's for best bet of the day. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. Look ahead to everything tomorrow. I know it was a long show today, and I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.